Hello Year 4, welcome to Thursday the 4th of June. Here is your maths lesson for today. We're continuing our work on money. So yesterday you were practicing rounding money in order to be able to estimate the total cost of various items. So you saw this question exactly like this yesterday. Have a really quick go at doing it today just to warm up your brain and remind yourself. Pause the screen now. Okay, so just very quickly, in order to be able to do this calculation, you need to know that £2.35 rounds down to £2, £3.18 rounds down to £3, and £2.49 also rounds down to £2. Oh, I did a fancy pound sign there, not sure why. And all you would need to do is to add those three amounts together. £2 and £2 is £4, plus 3 is £7. Okay, that is a really useful skill and something that you do a lot. We do a lot as adults, particularly in shops. Today we are actually going to be adding amounts exactly. Okay, add two amounts. So here is your first question. It says work out the exact cost of two of these items, and I've actually decided to add these two items first of all. So the first thing you need to be able to do is to line up your two amounts correctly, and this is actually really important. It's something that maybe we take a bit for granted sometimes, that we are able to line up our digits correctly. When you put them together in your column addition, you must make sure that the pounds are above the pounds. This column here, the tenths or the 10 pennies, are in line, and the hundredths are in line as well. And of course, we would then have our calculation underneath. So we've got our calculation here, and this is it's practicing column addition. You've done a lot of this throughout year 4. Hopefully lots of you will feel quite confident with it, but see this as practice of adding using column addition. So the only difference is that we've got this decimal point here. Okay, so you always start with the smallest digits. Okay, in this case it's our hundredths. Okay, so we'd start by doing 8 add 9, and I know that 8 add 9 is 17. So I'm going to put the 7 here, and I'm going to make sure I've got that extra 1 from the 17. It's 17 pence, isn't it? So that we know that that 1 is actually a 10 pence. So we've put it in this column underneath the other tenths. So 1 add 4 add 1 is 6. So we've now got 60p. And I'm going to make sure I put in my decimal point. That's incredibly important. And then £3 add £2 is £5. Okay. So £3.18 add £2.49 equals £5.67. Let's have another go at that. This time we are adding this one, and this one. So again, let's make sure we align our two numbers correctly. Of course, if I line them up like this, I would be adding the pounds to the 10 pennies. That's no good at all. Or if I lined it up like this, it would all go awry. Okay, you must make sure you line up your digits correctly. Really, really important. Okay, bear that in mind when you look at the twist it as well. Forget that. I think I'm thinking of tomorrow's. Giving you a little head start on tomorrow's twist it. Okay, so we've lined up our digits. Here's our calculation. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, start with the smallest digits. So we're going to start over here in our hundreds column. 5 add 9 is 14. So I'm going to make sure I put that extra 10 over into the tenths column. Okay, it's actually a 10 pence. 3 add 4 add 1, or 30p add 40p add 10p is 8 or 80. So we've got 84 pence so far. Make sure I've got a decimal point in, and £2 add £2 is £4. £2 35 pence and £2.49 equals £4.84. Okay. What happens then if we have to do more than one exchange? Here is some bigger numbers, and this time we're going to have to exchange in more places than one. So we're going to start over here again. 5 hundredths add 1 hundredth equals 6 hundredths or 6 pence. 3 add 8. I know that 3 add 8 makes 11, so I'm going to put 1 down here and carry that 1, which is actually 100 pennies or £1, and put it into this column here, which is our ones column or £1 column. So now I'm going to do 2 add 9 add 1, which makes 12. So I've got the 2 in the pounds column and carry the 1 across into the £10 column. So we've got 3 add 2 add 1 makes 6. £62 and 16 pence. Okay, so your do it for today is practicing column addition using amounts of money. Okay, so you're practicing column addition with decimals. They start off without any exchanging, and then as you move through, you'll find you get some exchanging, and in a couple of the sums there's more than one exchange. Okay, that should do it. Then move on to your twist it. Okay, most of these calculations will involve some exchanging. I'll tell you that now. So it's not quite as straightforward as it looks. Okay, and on number 4, it says, how many possibilities can you find for calculation number 4? And then your extra challenge, can you explain how you work systematically to avoid missing any possibilities? So there's not just one right answer for number 4, there's a few ways of filling in these boxes. Just very quickly, let's have a look at how you would go about solving one of those calculations, how you would know what goes in those boxes. So we'd always start on the right, start with your smallest numbers. That's so important here, okay? So something add 8 equals 2. What? Something add 8 equals 2. I already know there that I can't add anything to 8 to make 2, so it must be adding something to 8 to make 12. Okay, so I must be carrying over one of these and exchanging it for a 10 pence. And I can check that because actually 6 add 2 doesn't equal 9, but 6 add 2 add 1 equals 9. So now if I think about it really carefully, I actually know that 8 add 4 equals 12. So 4 and 8 equals 12. So far so good. We've carried the 1 across, we've exchanged it for 10 pennies. 6 add 2 add 1 equals 9. So I'm feeling pretty confident about this section here. And then 4 add 7 equals, yeah, I know that. 4 add 7 equals 11. So I also know that I must have to carry over another 1, and we can just double check that by looking at our tens column. 2 add 3 add 1 equals 6. Okay, you will have to sort of check all of the columns as you go through doing the twist its. Okay, it's not quite as simple as some of them look. And finally, you'll solve it. Now this is a challenging one, okay? It says, this is an example of a magic square. The total of every column, so that's going down, and every row, that's going across, and every diagonal needs to be 3 times the value in the middle. So for example, the middle value in this square is 4. So all of the columns, rows, and diagonals must equal 12, because 3 times 4 is 12. And we can just check that, look. So that 3 times 4 equals 12. So 4 add 1 add 7, yeah, that equals 12. 4 add 4 add 4, yeah, that equals 12. 4 add 7 add 1, that equals 12. And we could go through every column and every row and every diagonal, and we could check, and they do all equal 12. You have to make this work. The same rules apply, okay, using these money amounts. So it says here, Fatima decides to make all of the magic squares that she can using only these pieces in each box. Okay, so you don't have to do this multiple times. Have a go at just doing it once, unless you get really into it, that's fine. So choose one of the amounts. So say you choose £2.20 to put it in the middle. You'd need to work out what 3 times £2.20 is. And then the challenge is to put these numbers, in the boxes around, so that every column, every row, and every diagonal equals 3 lots of £2.20. Okay, or you could start with a different amount. Okay, it's up to you which amount you start with, but you then have to stick with the same rule. Every column, every row, and every diagonal has to equal 3 times the middle amount. Okay, good luck. I hope you enjoy the lesson, and I will see you tomorrow.